everybody. So we're back, and we're going back into progression with guild progression with Missy. Take it away, Missy.
All right, guild progression occurs through participation in different systems, quests, nodes, social organizations, crafting certain items, and events. Guild progression grants skill points that the guild can allocate to unlock aspects of their skill tree, such as passive skills, augments, and membership count. Passive abilities increase certain stats relating to a guild member's ability to perform in combat or in other aspects of the guild, such as the economy. Augments may apply at the upper tiers of guild progression. This applies to guilds that have opted for the non-expansive member route. It benefits guild members with a classification of officer or knight. Guild members do not need to be citizens or of the same node in order to benefit from passive skills and augments. Guild size can be traded off for guild progression. The higher the guild's member cap, the fewer available skill options will be available to that guild. Guild alliances may be a key part in creating a larger guild. Guild halls can be unlocked at a certain stage of guild advancement. Guilds cannot respec their skill points once allotted. This is subject to testing. So,
I think that'll change.
yeah, because I'm like, that's why it's subject to testing.
Yeah.
Because what if the skill points aren't allocated properly? Then you're screwed? I don't think that's good.
People always want to change their mind, and they're like, oh, hey, we want to, we were like, well, we're not into caravans anymore, so we want to do ship stuff, So we want to start putting stuff into ships. So yeah, I think that'll change.
Yeah, I think so too. So Steven says, as you're leveling up the guild and you're getting these points to either allocate towards expanding the guild's member count or allocate towards adding certain passive abilities that your guild members can gain by being guild members. You're also going to see, as you're leveling up the guild through different types of quest-based, participation-based, node-based, organization-based systems, and ways that those quests hook into the world. You're also going to see perhaps some augment abilities at the upper tiers of the guild levels become unlocked for certain members that have a classification of officer or knight. We'll have access to those different types of augment abilities that might get unlocked should you go down the non-expansive member lane. And the idea there is to offer these benefits to smaller groups. It's not always going to be combat. You could have an economic focus guild. You could have a trade-oriented guild. And there's all sorts of things that you can kind of put together and kind of give your guild its own identity.
Yep. So you could have a guild that has a lot of money, and you could pay others to do combat for you, aka the alliances.
That's me.
Yep.
I'd be rich and have hire bounty hunters.
Yep.
Okay, social organization progression. A player progresses through a social organization by accomplishing tasks or quests. There are hierarchical paths pertaining to specific quest lines for the organization's thematic. These quests will be either cooperative or with adversarial against other nodes based on their mutual war status. Sabotage, espionage, and intrigue. For example, a thieves' guild may have objectives and quests towards securing a particular item to enable players to advance within the organization. And social organizations unlock augment.
Yep. And augments are just changes, visual changes. So the attack will still do the same thing, like in the end, but it'll maybe look different. So.
Yeah. Alright, alliance progression. Ashes of Creation may have specific content that revolves around alliances. Progression pathways within alliances, guilds sharing common services with alliance members, alliances can toggle relationships with nodes.
Yep.
So freehold progression. Freehold buildings are able to be leveled up based on the length of time and productivity of the freehold. Freehold progression unlocks new bonuses, abilities, and capabilities. So your freehold professions are animal husbandry, crafting stations. Didn't say bear husbandry, it says animal husbandry. Just
Bears aren't animals? Are you being
Yeah.
animalist?
No, I'm just saying that not everything is bears, Brad.
Yes,
Not
it is.
everything is bears.
Yes, it is.
You can have another animal.
No. All bears.
What about a dog?
Nah. I want big old fluffy grizzly bears.
Oh boy. All right, so you have crafting stations can be located on freeholds or within nodes, farming, fishing, and player-owned taverns on freehold plots. I'm owning a tavern.
That'll be your night
So
job?
Yeah. I want to hire bands, have people come in, buy some pints, you know. A tavern. Fights and fisticuffs and drunk.
Whoa.
I can't wait to see what the taverns do.
Right.
So they have taverns. Taverns provide tiered services. Quests that might only be gathered from the player-owned taverns. Meals that grant buffs for a period of time after a player leaves. And recipes that could potentially be sold to cooking professions that may only be obtained from a player-owned business in a certain area. The longer the tavern is in business and the more patrons serve, the faster the tavern will level up.
Now, I guess just quickly throw this in there. Just because the way that you talk about taverns and you just kind of read that and just kind of like we're talking about progression, right? I think a lot of this progression that I'm seeing with Ashes of Creation is definitely going to be player interaction based, right? Which is to be seen. But let's say you're freehold, because sadly, you might have a tavern, but nobody's around to use it, and so it is just stagnant, you know.
And maybe somebody likes Bob's Tavern at the next freehold.
Yeah.
And not my tavern.
Or Asmongold's Tavern.
Or no, that one will probably be always full.
Right.
So monster coin progression. There is a progression system that levels a player's monster skills based on how often they participate in monster events. So I'll read this little quick excerpt. In Ashes of Creation, a large portion of world events revolve around the environment reacting to the player. This means that as players are exploring the world and developing civilization around them, the environment is responding to this encroachment by spawning dynamic events and creatures to attack those developing cities. These events occur in 3 different types: the Legion level, the Elite level, and the Epic level. As nodes advance, so does the scale of the monsters. There are tiers of events denoting the caliber of the monsters being spawned. The tier of the monster coin dictates how powerful the monster is.
Yeah, and I hope this means we're gonna have like giants, like everyone has to like whack on the giant's leg, or you know, to bring him down. Like,
Chop them down.
Yeah, I hope we get like huge scaled monsters. I think that'd be pretty cool. So.
Well, they say there's going to be.
Yeah. Well, I hope, like I said, being so far out on this game, in terms of time, a lot of stuff can happen in 3 years. Like I said, it'll be cool to. It's like, Steven, if you watch these, Margaret, we need trailers, we need teaser trailers, we need videos. Like, I think the last teaser trailer I found was from years ago. So, give us a new one, please. Give us a new one.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, we need them.
Definitely. The CGI one would be awesome, you know. Just throw it out there, even if it's just an introduction to the story, like what happened, and you know, being that we can't play Apocalypse, right? Apocalypse was the story, you know, of the ending days and going through the portals. You know, give us that CGI, give us that story, kind of like Final Fantasy XIV did with, you know, Bahamut destroying everything and then the afterwards. You know, it was epic, it got you pumped. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, definitely would see.
And I would like to see the apocalypse and the Exodus, you know?
Oh yeah, no, I think like to keep this fire going and to keep it really blazing, the monthly things are cool and definitely needed, right? But we need technically more content coming out, more things, more videos, more a CGI trailer, just a trailer period showing stuff. Because I think like that'd be pretty cool. Like the class videos, I think those are nice. Those are awesome. Like keep those coming. So Summer too next. Maybe yeah. So
maybe yeah.
maybe.
Because
I mean they did have videos like the mage ones. They were pretty cool. Like, but they were like years ago. So where are they at? We want to see them now. So, but
yeah.
But yeah, so I think that wraps us up on progression, guys. So thank you for joining us for all these progression videos. I hope you found it enlightening. It was cool to revisit a lot of these. It kind of re-brought back the excitement for me personally. I don't know about you, Missy, but it definitely did for me because it was some things that I remembered, but until you reread something, you're like, man, that sounds really cool, So what do you think, Missy? Was there rereading some of these things? Does it bring it back? Like, yeah, actually, I am pretty excited about this.
I still am anyway.
Yeah.
I'm still excited. I just really want to see how this all plays out. This open world type of thing, and see, just how they're going to have a lot of these elements play out. Especially interesting to me are dungeons and how they're going to actually work.
Yeah, and if dungeons become raids, the deeper you go down, how those all, yeah, because I think the last time they showed us something, it was very bare, it wasn't very lively, and that's kind of a thing too, right? When you have open world dungeons, how structured can they be? I think they can be pretty structured, but, I just think they're.
Well, say, what happens if we want to go do a raid? Do we have to fight our way through a whole entire dungeon just in order to get to the raid part?
Probably. Or
every time.
Yeah. Or that dungeon yeah, it's like, or that dungeon is you go into it and you go left, and that's the raid, or you go right, that's the dungeon, or you go straight and you could take the long way down, that's a dungeon into a raid. So, who knows? Like I said, dungeons are going to be, the world is going to be both. You're going to have a top level and a bottom level, Underrealm, all that stuff. So, it'll be interesting to see when all this comes out. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's just definitely a worry for me personally is time, right? How long, not really the time of keeping the excitement going, that is a factor, but also, you work on a game and it takes you 7 years to bring out that said game. By the time it comes out, it's already outdated. Other bigger companies have taken advantage of the gap of MMOs, but I have faith, trust, and pixie dust and Steven and his team and Margaret and the community team. I hope and pray that we get into the Alpha 1 testing for the content creators. Yes, I guess this would be a plea. Just because we definitely want to keep this motivation going. But of course, without access to the game, all we can do is read about the game. So, and I would love to help it from the development standpoint too. Being enough, we've both.
For me,
played.
Right now, it's like original D&D. Before there were gaming and online communities and things like that, it was we're at original D&D.
Yep, we're just reading about it. We ain't actually playing anything. So,
yeah.
So the content creator program. Hopefully, we get in. But anyways, guys, like I said, that was progression. It was a lot, but like I said, it's a big part of the game, right? It's kind of the reason why you play an MMO is to progress, or any game for that matter. So yet again, give us a follow on Twitch, Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and also join us on Discord. Like I said, I know everybody has a Discord these days, but we've set up our Discord. It's smaller right now, but it's growing. With a lot of different categories, a lot of different interesting topics and stuff that we talk on there. So we built a mansion. Now we just got to fill it up. So come and be a part of the CGN family. And if you're a content creator yourself, take a look at our Crucible team member program. And at cruciblegamingnetwork.com. And I think that's about it. Missy, did you have anything else to add?
Nope, you said it all for me.
All right, like I always do. This is why the Golden Feathers podcast was 3 hours practically. So, you're welcome, guys. You're welcome. Cheebre and Vertec. So.
That's because Brad kept going and going like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, just lots to say. But all right, guys, you have a good night, and we will catch you next time on Dragon Ball Z. No, on Ashes of Creation.
What?
So, all right, CGN family, you take care. Be safe out there. I know it's COVID's world, but we're almost through it. So, have a good night.
Night, night.